I do love running the ball, and I love being good at it. And so, really that's one thing that really drives me. Obviously when I was a kid and I was so drawn to this game, it wasn't because I wanted to be the best one day. It was because I enjoyed doing it.
He doesn't have 3 rushing titles in a row in his portfolio. Emmitt Smith does. He doesn't have back-to-back Super Bowl titles. Emmitt Smith does. He doesn't have Thurman Thomas's versatility in 4 Super Bowl appearances either. But Barry Sanders is right now the best running back in football, 166 yards this past Sunday. People who play with him say it's never been different. Barry, who moved to number 20 on the all-time rushing list Sunday, is the very best right now. He joins us up close from Pontiac. Good to see you, Barry. Thank you very much for joining us. And I wish it could be on a happier occasion, but it's a tough loss coming off against a loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this past Sunday, and San Francisco on its way. Let me ask you a little bit about the 49er game last year. Of course, they thrashed you guys, and you guys got beat pretty badly. I think 55 points the 49ers scored. Is that something that obviously is very important to you, where you have to be thinking about not only what happened last year, but getting back into a winning track and trying to do it with a positive attitude?
Yeah, really, that's the main thing that we're focused on right now, is trying to develop some kind of a win streak. There's been a little lapse since, a couple weeks ago when we beat Dallas, but that's really what we're focused on. Last year, they beat us pretty handedly, but we felt like we were in a real transition stage also. I remember that game very well because I watched from the booth, and it seemed like it was even harder not being able to participate in the game.
Sure. Yeah. Let me ask you about you specifically this year. You're having a super year, obviously. In fact, 1,200 yards in the last 10 games, and you're on track, perhaps even down the road, to break Peyton's record if you can stick around for 13, 14 years. And here you are against the Patriots. We see a lot of great offensive output from you, but very few touchdowns, only 2 touchdowns in 5 games. Is that coincidental? Is that situational? Why haven't you been in the end zone more?
Yeah, a lot of it is situational, I think. I'm not in on short yardage and goal line situations,
right,
which is where we score a lot of our points. And a lot of times down in the red zone, we tend, because a lot of people key on a running game, we tend to do a bigger variety of plays.
Let's talk about the Dallas game for a second. You versus Emmitt Smith, and people always like to compare the two. They did it all night long on ABC. But obviously you guys prevailed. How important is it for you to be regarded by you as the very best? People talk about Emmitt Smith being better or whatever. Is that number one most important to you? I'm the number 1 rusher in my profession. Is that important to you?
Well, first of all, I have no idea of how to decide who's number 1. So it's not really something I really give a lot of consideration to. Really, I think that the truth of it is that, me and Emmitt have a lot of admiration and respect for each other.
Is there competitiveness between the two, though? You compete?
Well, I don't know. I can't really speak from his perspective, but I know for me, there's this respect and admiration, and I think a lot of kids need to know that, we 2 athletes who can compete against each other, but still respect and appreciate one another's abilities and not have to feel like we're competing or wishing the other ill or anything like that.
Nothing like that, but, a friendly competition. Let me ask it to you this way. You get yourself into a situation where you are not certainly as outspoken as Emmitt, and Emmitt's a terrific guy, but obviously he's talked openly, for example, about getting Peyton's record. He told me that this year. You're not an outspoken athlete. I wonder if that hurts your standing in some ways. Again, everyone admires you, but you're not viewed publicly. The first name that comes to your mind, oh, Barry Sanders, the best. And is it because you don't talk the talk enough?
I'm not sure what the question is.
Well, do you say, as I said before, Emmitt Smith likes to talk about the fact that he wants records and he's looking for Super Bowl championship. You don't speak out enough about you. You don't promote you enough. Has that hurt you?
Well, depends on what you mean by whether it hurts me or not. I don't feel like, I don't regret anything about my career and about my personality, about the way I am. I wouldn't really change anything. I feel like my career has been decorated enough.
Oh, yeah.
And I've gotten enough credit. You know, so whether people consider me the best or not is really, to a certain point, it's irrelevant. Because, you know, I enjoy what I do, and I'm having fun to a certain, you know, we have to start winning, obviously.
Sure.
But I do love running the ball, and I love being good at it. And so, you know, really that's one thing that really drives me. You know, obviously when I was a kid and I was so drawn to this game, it wasn't because I wanted to be the best one day. It was because I enjoyed doing it.
Because you didn't want to be the best. That's very interesting, because a lot of athletes say, I wanted to be the best, and that's why it was. You just wanted to have fun. That's your number one priority.
Yeah, I mean, how many people can actually say that they're going to be the best at it, though? You know,
how about you? You could say it.
I mean, that's not something that really drove me. What drove me was the competition and the sport of it.
Yeah.
You know, and being successful.
All right, let's take a look at you and the fact that you don't spike the football. Again, very, very representative of Barry's personality. He's not a guy that likes to do his dance and his big number. You like to give the ball back to the referee, you know, which I think is very, very classy. How important is Walter Payton's record? You're you're almost at the exact halfway point, 7,416 yards midway through the 6th year. Payton at 13 years, 16,726. How important is that record?
This business is so unpredictable. I'll be fortunate to be able to play the same amount of years that he played.
Because of the salary cap part of that?
No, just because of the physical risk.
Sure.
And so the yards, you know, that's something that I really can't even consider because no one is guaranteed another down or another season. And so, you know, that's really the way I approach it. It'd be wonderful to be able to achieve that mark.
Yeah, well, he is regarded, I will tell you this, by the Lions and the rest of the league as the best in terms of financially anyway. $17.3 million for 4 years, the highest paid running back in the game. He is Barry Sanders, and we're going to come back and talk about how he's able to calm himself down before the game. He's very nervous, but he's able to sleep up to 2 minutes before kickoff. We'll find out about that, plus a whole bunch more. Barry Sanders of the Lions from Pontiac after this.
It still bugs me that I waited to try Old Spice High Endurance just because I thought all deodorants worked the same. Dumb. This proves it's the best. Better than the leading stick. It evaporates less quickly. It also lasts longer. Protects better. You can't ignore that. Or this guarantee. Try it. If you don't think it's the best, call 1-800-PROVE-IT, and they'll buy you a stick of yours. You got to figure anyone that serious about deodorant deserves a serious shot. Come on, take the High Endurance Challenge from Old Spice. I did.
When anything needs lubricating, you can use new non-flammable liquid wrench with Teflon, or you can use WD-40 and dress accordingly. New liquid wrench with Teflon, the only non-flammable aerosol lubricant. Hey, nice threads. To a squeaky hinge or rusted bolt, they look the same, but to a lighted match, they look... oh. New liquid wrench with Teflon, the only non-flammable aerosol lubricant. Seems WD-40 has met its match.
Taking a look at the weather, we've got a high-pressure system.
Sitting right here.
And that is bringing us nothing but clear skies and... oh, Mr. Sunshine.
Is it just us, or are weathermen really only guessing?
But hold on.
It's gonna get better.
Clear as a bell. Not a cloud in the sky.
That's why we make the Isuzu Trooper, because life's an adventure. Be prepared.
My prediction, it's gonna rain. Trust me.
Isuzu, practically amazing.
People who really understand money carry the Discover Card. Only Discover Card offers cashback bonus award. So it's the choice of people who really know the drill. It pays to discover.
Used to be you saw your name up in lights. Now if you're an athlete, you see your name, your face, your body 10 to 15 stories high. Look at this giant poster on a building in Detroit, Michigan. We're talking to Barry Sanders. You didn't see it, but you see it almost every day, I'm sure. How weird is that to see yourself 10, 15 stories high?
It's a thrill. It's a definite thrill. I was able to see it a couple of times, and I mean, because I had no previous notion, you know, that they were going to do it, and you know, it was exciting to finally learn that they were going to do it. And yeah, I'm thankful for it.
Low-key guy, Barry Sanders is. And let me tell you how low-key, folks. Story goes that sometimes he can get himself into such a zone, maybe a zen is a better word, where you could be asleep, literally as they're ready to take the field. They have to wake you up. Now, and how do you get yourself into that state, huh? Is that right?
Well, a couple times. Every now and then before a game, I
fall asleep.
I just like to get relaxed.
I guess so.
I like to get relaxed. Yeah.
Well, what do you dream about the game before you go out on the field?
No, it's just a matter of kicking your feet up and just taking it easy.
Yes.
Really. And sometimes you might go into a little REM sleep or something.
You never feel like you're going to oversleep for the game. I guess your teammates will have you out there.
Yeah, usually. Yeah.
I guess so. Hey, talk to me a little bit about Thurman Thomas. You played ball with Thurman for 2 years. You were a freshman. He was a junior. And obviously, he's a versatile back. We talked about at the top of the show. What he has brought to the game, people say until he wins the Super Bowl, he'll never be regarded in the highest of the echelon. He's done a whole lot in his career. Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah, I think he doesn't get enough credit, I think, a lot of times. He's had a excellent career, and, it's a team sport. And so you can't place the burden on him to win a Super Bowl or championship or anything else.
I
think he's carried his share of the burden, of the load, more than his share. So
I was going to say, you think 4 Super Bowl trips in itself is quite an accomplishment, even though you don't win them.
Well, yeah, I mean, I hadn't been. The only time I went was as a spectator, So yeah, it's much more than I've done.
Yeah, Marshall Faulk. A little bigger than you, but you've had a chance to watch him. You like his game. Compare him to what you're doing. What does he have to learn in this game to be a complete back?
Well, I don't really want to get into what he has to learn. I think he'll figure that out on his own. I hadn't had a chance to watch him that much, but he's a very aggressive runner, and he's elusive. He's able to slip through tacklers, really strong and powerful, and it looks like he has pretty good speed too. So, if he stays on the pace where he is now, he's going to be very hard to stop.
What have you learned running in this league that you didn't know coming out of college?
I think now a lot of times I know when to get down. I know when the play's over and I'm not going to make any more yards, so I can hit the turf. Or I think I know how to down and distance, whether I can gamble and try to, make something big happen or just, get the first down.
Yeah.
Little things like that.
I'm going to throw something out, and I hope it's respectful because it's been in the papers, and it's not something, obviously, you want to talk too much about, but I'm going to ask this question respectfully. In 1991, you told Leslie Visser that you were going to be part of the Athletes for Abstinence program. You didn't believe in premarital sex. Well, obviously, it's been revealed that you have a little boy, and you're very proud of the little boy, Barry James Sanders, 5 months old. The question is, do you feel in any way awkward, not embarrassed, but awkward with that situation now that you have a son and you're not married? Does it change people's perception of you?
I'm sure it will change some people's perception of me, but I'm definitely glad that he's here. And it was something that I tried to do as far as but it's not something now that I really get into talking about a whole lot. And it was something I wanted to do then, and that was it, and I gave it an honest effort. But, Barry James is here now, and there's a lot of people that's thrilled to have him here.
You feel you have the same moral standards, though, in your life, that you're not a phony in any way. This is something that happened in your life you're proud of, and obviously you move on and you make the adjustments. You have the same moral standard.
I move on, man. I move on. And, got to be a parent now. I think, a lot of times we're ideological in our approach to life, which is noble. It's noble to be ideological, but realistically, I do have a kid, and now the challenge is to be a good parent.
I must tell you also, Barry, knowing your dad and knowing the good stock you come from, good parents, good brothers and sisters, it's a solid family. And by the way, in American life, situations do come up like this, and Obviously, people want to get you married right away, but that's also your choice. It's up to the individual. At some point, you'll make that decision. I appreciate you spending some time, and I appreciate the way you play football. A terrific football player. Obviously, you want to get back in the winning column, and we wish you best of luck this weekend in San Francisco.
Thanks for having me, Roy.
Thank you, Barry. In a moment, the 55-year-old head coach of the Detroit Lions, Wayne Fontes, joins us. We'll return more after this.
Music Express, voted #1 by the National Limousine Association, has offices in Los Angeles and the East Coast. Music Express can handle your corporate needs anywhere in the U.S. and worldwide.
The customer really just wants to have a reasonably priced phone call from one place to another. If they're on an AT&T calling plan or an MCI plan or a Sprint plan, they have no idea what it's going to cost them. You know you're going to do better with LCI.
People are saving with LCI, America's fastest growing long-distance phone company.
We offer you no monthly minimums, no monthly fees, and a flat rate nationwide. Unlike anybody else, AT&T and MCI and Sprint do not deliver something so straightforward, simple, fair, and inexpensive.
There's no risk. If you're not completely satisfied, LCI International will pay to switch you back. Plus, call now and you'll get 100 minutes of long distance for just a penny a minute with your LCI calling card.
Try LCI. We're a very different long distance phone company.
Great action to shock, full highlight. He just could go all the way.
NFL Primetime, Sunday at 7 on ESPN.
He's allowed his team to finish twice with division titles in the last 3 years. This was one of the high points a couple of weeks ago, beating the Dallas Cowboys. Wayne Fontes now standing by via satellite, Pontiac, Michigan. Obviously, this weekend, not one of the high points. In fact, you said it was the lowest of the low points, regular season anyway.
It really was, Roy. I didn't think we played well. We didn't execute well enough to win the football game. Going into the ball game, I thought we were well prepared. We just didn't play up to expectations. Tampa Bay played a fine football game. Take nothing away from that football team. They beat us.
Yeah. But let's take a look, though, at the graphic regarding your record as a coach. You look at the last 30 years, and no other Lion coach, and here are the numbers, has ever, besides Monty Clark, done it twice, win a division title. You did it from '88 to the present. Look at all that long list. I don't feel, though, that Wayne Fontes is still getting the respect he deserves. Do you think you have earned the respect that you deserve?
Well, I think so, Roy. It's one of those things where I think we've given the fans here for the first time in 30 years something to really cheer about, something to get excited about. And when they leave the stadium now, if we lose, they're disappointed, and so am I. But this football team has come a long way. This program has come a long way, and we've got some excellent players. And this team should be a fine football team.
Is it important for the fans to like the coach? Do you care whether the fans like Wayne Fontes?
Well, I don't think so, but it's one of those type of things that some people like me, some people don't. But as long as the majority do, that's all I'm concerned with.
Take me through Scott Mitchell, a guy who signed for $11 million, 3 years. He had all of 7 professional starts, the good and the bad. We're going to take a look at the good stuff first. Against Dallas, converting on a 4th down play. When he's been good, what's he done right? And then on the other end, we're going to talk about when it hasn't gone right for Scott.
Well, I tell you, when he's good, he's very good. He moves around the pocket well. He's a strong-arm quarterback. He reads defenses very well. He has a touch on the ball. He can deal it off. He scrambles very well. So he's what we thought he would be. He's young, and he's going to be better game by game.
And, of course, you're seeing him completing a long clutch pass against the Cowboys for a touchdown there. And when it hasn't gone well for Scott Mitchell, what have his problems been?
Well, I'll tell you what, I think right now, Roy, it's a situation where I think he's trying to win the game by himself. I think he's pressuring himself. He's listening to the media. They're saying, my God, he's struggling. So, therefore, he's trying to get things done by himself. if he just takes his time, stays poised, this young man will be an outstanding quarterback in the National Football League.
What did the Cowboys win to do for this football team? And then conversely, what did the loss to Tampa Bay do to this football team?
Well, I think the win proved to ourselves and our program, and we started 6 years ago, that we can compete with the better teams in the National Football League. We can compete on the same level as the elite teams. That game did that for us. Losing to Tampa Bay just goes to show you that you have to be up every week in this league to win, and maybe we weren't just quite where we wanted to be.
Be honest with me, and I know you are because you're a very honest guy. The critics have said Font's too much of a player's coach, too relaxed, not the stereotypical coach, that he's too much of a buddy with his teammates. Is that fair?
Oh, I think it's very unfair, Roy. I think right now, if you look throughout the National Football League, there are coaches that are coming in right now, and they all say, boy, this guy's a great coach. He's a player's coach.
Right.
If it works there, it's going to work here.
Yeah. What did losing your brother do to your life? You lost your dad in somewhat the same way. Len was the closest person in the world to you. And then within the same year, Eric Andelsek and Mike Utley's injury. How did all of those things change your life? But first, your brother's death.
My brother's death was very difficult for me, Roy. It was a situation where I not only lost a great coach in Lenny, I lost probably the best friend in my lifetime. I lost dreams with my brother Lenny. My brother, I have 3 other brothers. We're all very, very close.
And one of your brothers is now coaching the Lions, as a matter of fact.
Yes, my brother Johnny's with me now, and we're all very close. But Lenny and I had a dream that one day we would coach together, win the Super Bowl together, and go off and retire together. And it was very difficult for me. And then we lose Andelsek and the Utley situation. I've had a lot of things happen since I've been head football coach here. And now we lose Toby Caston, one of our ex-players, last night. So
wow.
It's been very difficult. And I'll never get over it, but I'll get through it.
Yeah, I know you used to wear his ring on your finger to remember, and then the ring fell off kind of, I don't know, maybe that's symbolic, and you put that ring on your dresser so you'll always remember Lenny.
Oh, it was amazing. I was sitting at home with my mother, and we were talking about Lenny, and the ring just fell off my finger, and it was a ring that's very tight on my finger, and we picked it up, took it to church, we had it blessed, and it's sitting on my dresser right now.
We'll come back. More with the coach of the Detroit Lions, Wayne Fonts, from Pontiac, after this.
Guests of Up Close stay at the Beverly Prescott, LA's premier boutique hotel. Call your travel agent to make reservations at the Beverly Prescott Hotel.
With all the junk that comes in the mail these days, it's important not to overlook something really special. Your pre-approved Discover Card application. Just sign it and return it. There's no annual fee, and you can get an 8.9% rate until February 95 on transferred balances. So you can buy something you've always wanted. Watch your mail or call 1-800-DISCOVER. It pays to discover.
Dear Midas, one morning, I noticed my car was pulling, so I took it to a tire store for an alignment. And after 3 separate attempts, they couldn't get it right. I went to Midas for help. Your manager...
Hi, I'm Paul Meyer.
...and his staff spent all the time necessary to identify and correct the alignment. Paul said...
We don't want you to leave until you're extremely happy.
Which I am. Sincerely, Anthony Nista.
You have seen the masters of the game, and what have you learned? Trevino's secret of the green, player's path out of the trap, Palmer's answer to the blue, Charles's way through the chasm and the labyrinth of your mind. Remember, we all want the lesson. That's why we watch the Transamerica. Let ESPN show us the way. The Transamerica begins today at 3 Eastern.
The season's over. From this day forward, as long as I'm the head coach here, the Lions will set their goals very, very high because we're going to be a good football program.
That's Wayne Fontes last year after the Packers loss. It was a tough, tough loss, but Don Chaney, for one, in Detroit, who's the basketball coach of the Pistons, says he thinks Fontes deserves better. I used to love the story about Duffy Daugherty talking about Wayne Fontes when he thought your name was Fontes. In fact, it was Fontes. And he said, Fontes, that's a lover's name. Wayne Fontes. So he changed it back to Fontes, right? Because that's a football player, right?
Look at me. I don't look like a lover or what. No, my name is Wayne Fontes, and it's a great heritage name, and it goes back a long ways. And
Portuguese, right?
I'm just yes, I am. I'm just very, very proud to be called anything these days.
Yeah. Hey, let's briefly talk about the young man who was killed the other night, who was a special teams player for you, Toby Cantor, I think it is, and this young man, obviously, Caston, I think it was. A very important person to you for a number of years, and another devastating loss to the Lion organization.
Oh, it really was, Roy. Coming back from the Tampa Bay game last night, I'm sitting back there.
This is Sunday night. We're seeing this later in the week, right?
Okay, yeah, thinking about the game, and the pilot comes back and tells me that there's been an accident, and my former player Toby Caston was killed in an auto crash, and I had to tell some of the teammates of his, and it was very difficult. A very difficult ride home for our players, and there were a lot of tears on the plane, and just something else that has happened to this football team. But it kind of puts things in proper perspective, and you can't forget things like that. And those things are very close to me, very close to this team, and maybe we'll rebound after this.
You don't have an extension in your contract. Obviously, you'd like when you have it, you're signed for a couple more years, but they didn't give you an extension. Does that give you handwriting on the wall, Wayne?
No, I don't think so. I have a great owner in Mr. Ford. I have another year. I have 2 years on my contract. And Don Shula only had one last year, but he got an extension this year. But if we do well, I plan on being around the Detroit Lions organization for a long time. If I don't do well, then they should bring somebody else in here. But right now, this program is better than it's been in 30 years, and
no doubt.
I feel good about this program.
Yeah. John McKay, how much of an influence in your life and your career athletically? John McKay.
Oh, tremendous. I learned many things from John McKay. I learned how to bring a team along. I learned that sometimes you pat him on the back, sometimes you chew him out. He was a great motivator. He knew his players, and they said he was tough on his team, but down deep, he was great with his football players.
Mm-hmm. Was it disappointing not getting the Tampa job? That's a few years back, but I mean, you wanted that very badly, to replace him after he left.
Well, it was a plan, a dream of his in mind that I stayed with him right there through thick and thin. I worked with him for about 14, 15 years, and we had a great relationship. They decided to go in another direction. I understood it. Things worked out just great for me, and I'm very, very happy to be here.
Well, Wayne, we wish you the best luck. A big game coming up this week. The 49ers, they're going to be in no mood, by the way. I think you know that. But the Lions shouldn't be in a very good mood either.
I'll tell you what, Roy, you heard it here. We'll be ready to play.
Okay. Thanks, Wayne.
Okay, Roy.
We'll come back. We'll wrap things up close right after this.
Clothing provided by David Rickey and Company, designers of custom clothing for men, California, New York, and the world.
She'll try to drown you. She'll try to freeze you. She'll try to burn you. She'll try to blow you away. But she will not succeed. The Nissan Pathfinder.
With Goodyear Certified Auto Service, the job's done one way. Right way! Get the best selection of Goodyear tires anywhere. Goodyear trained ASE certified technicians. And the savings you want.
Right now! Save big on Goodyear Auto Service, including 20% off two-wheel front disc brake service. If you want to save, you want to see Goodyear.
You want it, you got it.
Right way, right here, right now.
With Goodyear Certified Auto Service.
People who really understand money carry the Discover Card. Only Discover Card offers cashback bonus award. So it's the choice of people who really know the drill. It pays to discover.
Tomorrow at 11:30, focus on College Game Day, live from the Orange Bowl. For all the previews, commentary, and late-breaking news on college football. College football on ESPN. It's so huge you can't miss it.
Once again, we thank our guests Barry Sanders and Wayne Fonts, the Detroit Lions. 2 weeks from tonight, our ESPN primetime special, Willie Mays, Jerry Rice, Charles Barkley, and Johnny Unitas. 2 weeks from tonight, that's 10 Eastern. We hope you join us then. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Travel provided by Continental, offering business first class service at a business class fare.